What if the Straw Hat Pirates had Pokemon teams? Let's pick out 6 Pokemon that fully represent each of the pirates, starting with Luffy and then all of his friends. Monkey D. Luffy's powerhouse Pokemon team would start with his main partner Aipom, as it's the quintessential monkey Pokemon. Luffy's family name is Monkey, and of course he acts like one, so it's just a perfect fit. His second team member is Hitmonlee, and if you didn't know, Hitmonlee's legs can actually extend like springs. It's a pretty close fit to the powers of the Gum Gum fruit. Next is Tangrowth, who similarly can extend its arms to any desired length. With Tangrowth and Hitmonlee, they can perfectly replicate Luffy's powers. His fourth member is Phalanx, as its teamwork represents Luffy being the captain of the Straw Hats. Just imagine they're wearing straw hats instead of helmets. Next is Snorlax to represent Luffy's massive appetite, and finally is Volcarona, as in Unova Legends it's a god that created sunlight. It's the closest thing we have to match the sun god Nika. Therefore, Luffy's final team is Aipom, Hitmonlee, Tangrowth, Phalanx, Snorlax, and Volcarona. On to Zoro, our second Straw Hat and the main swordsman of the group. His first and main partner will be Gallade, because of its sword-like fighting style, and also it's green. His second team member will be Samurott, as it's a strong samurai Pokemon just like him. King Gambit is here for the same reason. The fourth member is Hisuian Decidueye, to represent his Ronin persona during the Wano country arc. That's a lot of fighter Pokemon, so these final two are here to represent different aspects of Zoro. Zigzagoon is Zoro's partner who can't move in a straight line just like its trainer. And finally is Shuckle. The thing with Shuckle is it's able to ferment juice in its body. I don't think it's much of a stretch to say a Shuckle could use this property to create alcohol, and we all know that's Zoro's favorite thing. For his final team of 6, he uses Gallade, Samurott, King Gambit, Decidueye, Zigzagoon, and Shuckle. The navigator and weather master of this pirate crew is of course Nami. Her main partner will be Castform. She of course needs to have a Pokemon that represents the weather. Next is Altaria, a Pokemon made of clouds and could even represent Zeus for her team. Nosepass is here as she's the navigator, and Nosepass is a literal compass. Nami is the cat burglar, so of course she has to have a Meowth on her team. And speaking of money, I'm sure she would find a Gimmighoul to help store her treasures. Finally, she'll have the powerhouse of Kangaskhan to represent her maternal side seen in arcs like Punk Hazard. Her full team is Castform, Altaria, Nosepass, Meowth, Gimmighoul, and Kangaskhan. If Usopp's dream was to be a brave Pokemon master of the seas, what would his team be? His main partner is Inteleon, because it's the sniper Pokemon and Usopp is, well, a sniper. But this is also Usopp we're talking about, so he has a Wimpod to represent his wimpish tendencies. In the 2-year training arc he caught Victreebel to represent the plant attacks he uses. Morgrem is here to represent his lies and trickster nature, with the move False Surrender and ability Prankster. I also gave him Wooloo as it shows his connection to the Merry Go, and so he can always keep a piece of the Merry with him. And finally, he actually becomes the first Straw Hat to own a legendary Pokemon because I'm giving him Silvally. Usopp somehow ended up being praised as a god starting in Dressrosa, so what better Pokemon for him than the false god of Silvally? Just ignore how ridiculously strong it is to give Usopp a legendary over Luffy. His final squad is Inteleon, Wimpod, Victreebel, Morgrem, Wooloo, and Silvally. The final East Blue Straw Hat is of course Sanji, and his Pokemon can help him with both battling and in the kitchen. His main partner is Slurpuff to help him cook. Next is Blaziken, as it most accurately represents his flaming kick attacks. Zarina as his third member is another strong kicker and also feminine, because he's Sanji. Along those lines he also has his Gardevoir, because of course he does. But it can also have a rivalry with Zoro's Gallade. Minccino represents Sanji's love for rodents and maybe even helps clean up around the kitchen. And finally is Ledian, a weird pick, but its design inspirations are similar to those of Germa 66. So his ultimate team of 6 is Slurpuff, Blaziken, Zarina, Gardevoir, Minccino, and Ledian. Moving into Straw Hats found on the Grand Line, we have the cotton candy lover of Chopper. His first Pokemon is Weirdeer because it's a deer. It being a psychic type also represents intelligence, which can relate to Chopper being a doctor. Although in the Pokemon world, should Chopper just be a Weirdeer himself? Let's not think about that too much. His second Pokemon is Deerling, as it's another deer and can change forms like Chopper himself. Third is Cherrim, to represent Hiraluke's cherry blossoms, and it also has a form change, so that fits too. His fourth member is Pawmot, a furry doctor Pokemon just like him. Fifth is Swirlix, it's literally made of cotton candy, and that is Chopper's favorite thing. I just hope he doesn't eat it. The final member is Grimmsnarl, and it can Gigantamax. This represents Chopper's Monster Point form, as it's giant and also hairy. So it's the closest we got. Chopper's doctor team will be Weirdeer, Deerling, Cherrim, Pawmot, Swirlix, and Grimmsnarl. Demon Child Nico Robin is also a Pokemon trainer now, so what's her team of 6? To represent her Devil Fruit abilities and overall flower theming, her main partner will be Florges. Second is Unknown, being the closest Pokemon to represent poneglyphs and ancient language. She'll also have Machamp, with its multiple arms referencing her Devil Fruit abilities. Fourth is Houndour, which is kind of like a demon child. It's a first stage hellhound, so hell equals demon and first stage equals child. Kinda, just go with me on this one. Next I gave her Sandshrew because an archaeologist definitely needs a team member that's able to dig, so it fits. Her final member is Esper because it literally looks just like her. Look at Robin, now look at Esper. You see it, right? I digress. Her full team is Florges, Unknown, Machamp, Houndour, Sandshrew, and Esper. Our lovable cyborg Frankie needs some team members to help him out, so let's give him 6. His main Pokemon is Golurk, being the closest to the Iron Man that he is. Next is Scizor, being a Pokemon upgraded with metals, just like he is. His third member is Pyroar, which represents his greatest creation, the Thousand Sunny. I gave him Girder, being a Pokemon that can help him create inventions with steel. Fifth is Braviary, because Frankie is extremely American in nature, and Braviary is basically the America Pokemon. His final Pokemon is Rapidash, to represent that he can breathe fire, and also that he has his Centaur mode. I know that's kind of a stretch, but honestly, Frankie was the hardest to build a team for. Even so, his main team is Golurk, Scizor, Pyroar, Girder, Braviary, and Rapidash. The 9th member of the Straw Hat Pirates is Soul King Brook, so he's next to make a team for. The first member is Marowak, a Pokemon with a skull that wields a bone as if it were a sword, so close enough to our sword fighter Brook. His second member is Mr. Rhyme, which represents his gentlemanly manners, and that he also has ice powers with his sword. Ceruledge is here as an undead sword fighter, and Sinistea is here to provide Brook with his tea. Jigglypuff represents Brook's music, and that he can even put people to sleep with his song. His final team member is Bouffalant, because of course he needs a Pokemon with a massive afro. The Soul King's final team is therefore Marowak, Mr. Rhyme, Ceruledge, Sinistea, Jigglypuff, and Bouffalant. Now for our final team is the Helmsman Jinbei. There's no whale shark Pokemon, so we'll use multiple team members to represent this part of him. His ace is Garchomp, being a shark that can survive on land just like him. His next member, Whalmer, represents the whale part of the whale shark. Third is Tatsugiri, a Pokemon that can command other water types, like with Jinbei's control over other whale sharks. Goldeen is here to represent his relationship and commitment to Queen Otohime's ideals. His 5th member, Sock, is the incarnation of Fishman Karate, and it's blue, so that's a plus. Then his final Pokemon is Fione, and hear me out, Fione is a water-type mythical that's only obtainable through breeding. That is to say, it's something of a child of the sea. Jinbei is known as the first son of the sea, so it fits. Kinda. Yeah, let's just go with it. Jinbei's fishy team is Garchomp, Whalmer, Tatsugiri, Goldeen, Sock, and Fione. There we go, full Pokemon teams for all 10 of the Straw Hats. Hopefully Bonnie doesn't join the crew next chapter and mess this all up for me. If she does, she can have Sableye or something like that. In any case, thanks for watching, and I'm hoping to make more of these videos for other anime soon. Let me know in the comments which anime you want me to Pokemonify next. And make sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can watch that video when it releases. Thanks again for watching, and peace out!